Hello, the channel. Welcome back, everyone. A bit of MFL content. I haven't really done anything at all this season, so apologies from that perspective. Thankfully, I have been enjoying it this season, so just want to have a look back, see where we are with different teams, etc. Overall gallery, explain what I've been doing, etc. Back to kind of when I joined, progression and the like as well. As I said, I'm enjoying it again, which is the most important thing for a spell. Last season, God, I'm rusty at this. I haven't even turned on my light yet. 2 seconds to turn on my light. There we go. For a spell last season, just wasn't really enjoying it as much. I mean, obviously Vienna had got up to silver, loads of like insane players and everything there. Guys worth like $900, $1,000 and everything. But I kind of felt as if I had that stage where it's like I'm gonna have to spend like a few £1,000s to really improve my team now. I actually look back and, like some of the guys have continued to progress, albeit some of them are like 28, 29, so they're probably losing value now, but I did a few 90s in there, so I might have still done pretty well, but that's what it is. So let's have a look at current clubs, have a look at the current gallery, then we can just have a sort of look forward to season 7, which is not going to be too far away. So in terms of clubs, obviously, what's it called? Cumbernauld and Ice. Beer City I've just picked up, so I'll come back to them in a wee minute. Celtic Boys in Stone. Celtic Glasgow in Iron and Dublin in Bronze. So first and foremost, what's it called? I mean, I did kind of pack this team out pretty much this season. It was a pretty good team for Ice. Lots of good results. Got a wee cup run as well, which was great. You see here, obviously, lots of like 70s and rare players in Ice, which is probably a bit overpowered, but a few greens and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I mean, a really pretty good team, obviously, for Ice. So 19 wins and 2 draws, not really that surprising. Will be a bit harder, obviously, moving up, but some of the guys have progressed a bit as well, which is nice. Patrick Holt is 17 goals, but this guy scored 28 goals at Red Devils, so he's getting the golden boot, but we'll need to go in a playoff. Castillo with 7 assists, so not so good, and not much defending happening, to be honest. It's been a lot of attacking and doing well from that point of view. So going up in the Ice League, pretty pleased about that. Pretty good squad and stuff, and I'll have a look more at kind of squad players, etc., as we look through the overall galaxy. Could go a galaxy actually, Galaxy Cannibal. Picked up Beer City, so you see I picked it up for $85. Really like the badge, and obviously Moretti's in the thumb and everything, so I used an old thumb, but kind of miss having just like the kind of fun teams and things. So with Cumbernauld going up, I do have a whack of guys coming out of like development and things, and just kind of wanted to have like a lower down team as well. I think as well, when you get to a stage where you get up to like silver or whatever, and bronze, silver, comes a game where you really need to think about formations, who you're playing against. The other guys mix it up tactically. They're all very good, very competitive. Whereas, if you're just running a development team, then you can be a bit more relaxed about it. You don't need to be too intense. So it's a lot easier to run 5 teams with the lowest one being Ice than it is to run 5 teams with the highest one being in silver. And for Beer City next season, so I've set up obviously all my contracts, etc. So we'll have a look back through players, but yeah, I've got a mix of like 70s and 63s, etc. So it's not really too overpowered, although the first team will have a good few 70s in it, so I'd imagine you are going to be pushing for promotion. I say we'll have a look through any individual players. We'll do sort of gallery review. Celtic Boys, well, I mean, this has been like an incredible division. Getafe Gorillas are like really good. Have a look. We drew 0-0 with Getafe Gorillas, and look at this. Like basically both teams that could really be above this division, if I'm honest. So yeah, I mean, this guy's like just packed with high 70s and stuff. Good setup. Pretty difficult to play against. So Mr. Nesler's really set. It's pretty consistent with 4-1-2-1-2, but it's not an easy formation to beat. Seeing the game we played, which could have been like a title decider, it was pretty tight. He did create more XG than me as well, but he had more saves, so just one of those things. But the last game, you might be done by the time you watch this. I played third, so a draw there should be enough. Obviously, will be enough based on goal difference, etc. But a great season. I mean, 3 draws and 1 loss is really good. Done okay in the cup as well. So a wee bit of MFL coming from the cup, and obviously going up to Iron. So it's not really like too much of an improvement in terms of the actual quality of the players. So we'll have a look at pre-contracts, but should be pretty competitive in Iron. I say it's not really that good. I mean, that is actually pretty good. I'll look at it again. I've added a few in. So Shriner's come down here. He's an 81. And Montano's come down from a team above an 80. Kajelson is 96, 97 pace, so he's like a flying machine, so he's a really good option. Some of these guys are progressing pretty heavily, which is quite good. Miranda's hopefully a late developer, otherwise I've overpaid for him. Moving on to Celtic Glasgow, and we've got a bit of success. Celtic Glasgow! Finally out of Iron! Yes! Finally out of Iron! Absolutely sensational performance. 16 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Secured the title with a game to go. Really relieved about that after losing cup final and penalties and everything. I'm proper relieved about that, to be honest. Important draw against South Coast late on there. They were sitting second, they've fallen away a wee bit. Brno Aces have kind of overtaken a bit, so can kind of relax. In terms of the team for next season, yeah, it's going to be my best team, right? So up to bronze. This could do okay in silver. I mean, Lars Moll's like the right midfield option, but he's got 290s, right? He's like 90 pace, 90 dribbling. Morganson's a recent buy, so I'll probably cover him off when we're talking about progression. Bjorn Back also. Grant's been promoted. But a lot of these guys are already at Celtic. And a few of my favourite players, obviously Gibbs and Adler. These guys are just like just top quality. So young, 93 pace, 90 shooting, just absolutely banging in goals. Martin Gibbs, 92 shooting, 83 pace, but quite a good all-round player as well. So really quite valuable players, which is good. A couple of Legos in here as well, legendaries. Suleimano, not progressing so much, but I'm probably holding back these guys by like playing them in Iron, etc. So I'm hoping with everybody stepping up, maybe get a wee bump in terms of progression. And then Dublin were basically projected 10th, so could still pretty much come 10th, but odds are going to survive. So Cows are playing Effigy, so they've got quite a tough game against the top team. They've only lost 1 game all season, so I'm hoping that by the time you see this, like I've survived, so that would be good. Some pretty good recent results as well against like pretty tough teams. Beat Plymouth Pilgrims, beat Toulouse, 1-1 draw against Antwerp with 10 men. So hopefully have managed to scrape survival. Quite a few 80s and stuff in here, but then the squad wasn't really that deep. So a few 70s and things, which really is a bit light for bronze, in all honesty. You'll see some of my other teams with 70s in there from much further down. So how's it looking for next season? Well, again, it's going to be a kind of development type team. Quite a few 70s and things in here, so these guys are going to have to improve. I've spent a bit of money on it though, brought in like some defenders, etc., some 70s, so I'm hoping that can stay up in bronze, get some of that MFL. This guy's a huge buy, so thanks again to Mendes for the deal, although obviously you made the most. So Mendes bought this guy for $100 and I paid him 160. So you must be thinking, oh, he's an absolute idiot. But yeah, look at this guy's graph. Like, so he started there and then he's just started to fly. He's up to a 72. This has all been in Spark. So if you look at his player page as well, he's basically says he should be playing against better players. Where's the information? Yeah, so faster growth against tougher competition. Was going to be bronze, and he advanced slightly faster with better teammates, so he's outperforming his teammates as well. So yeah, from a point of view of Dublin, it's going to be a tough season, I think. I mean, just having a look back again at the overall quality. I mean, there's probably too many 70s in here, but Bain, I think, will keep improving. Orellana's an improver. Carvajal, again, is a young guy who's on the improve. So started as 65 plus 7. So hoping that with him being 80 defence, he can hold his own in bronze and improve, obviously. Probably get rinsed a bit for pace. And moved a few rares and everything up there, but it's a bit weak. And this is another guy I bought from Mendes, Giordano Bono. So again, he was $135, so a wee bit more, but he's been a real progressor. Started as like 64-ish, leveled out a bit, so could be a kind of low prime age, but quick. So quite good in the ball, can defend, so definitely be good enough for bronze. So that's the overall overview of teams. Before I go into the gallery progression, how things going, it's good to see. Obviously, we've got Flint coming in. Club packs just now. I think we're just about to sell out the licenses for Spark, which is mad. I don't think we can really support too many more divisions. I mean, obviously, it's going to get to the point where people are going to look at, well, there's going to be 11 divisions to the top or 12, so can't just have 100 divisions. Maybe will be a bit of regionality will come in, or so you have regions from the point of view of then feeding up towards a sort of maybe like a Champions League format or something. I guess that's kind of the way the pyramid is anyway. It's only taken one season to sell out most of Spark, so that's incredible growth. But again, you've got more leagues feeding into these leagues above, and we'll see how that all sort of develops. But it's great to see the game moving forward. Personally, quite like this version of the engine. I think like a couple of things to tidy up, but forwards are a good score. Everything that you do seems to kind of make sense and reflect in it. I think last season it was a bit inconsistent. You would run like friendlies and be like 4-1, lose 3-0, win 3-0, lose 4-1, that type of thing. Whereas things maybe marginally more consistent this season. So that's all pretty good stuff. So yeah, really enjoying it again. And we'll have a look at the overall HQ players, and then I'll let you know kind of what I did myself. So this is the overall HQ. Obviously, I do have quite a few really good players. I mean, a lot of these guys are pushing into being legendary players. I'm going to move myself up here because it's got different screens and doing this on the fly. Holzer is an interesting one. I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of wingers in terms of I think if you're playing wingers, they don't produce a lot from crossing things, so that's an interesting one. But I've kept him in Celtic. Obviously, quite good for those games where you want to go attacking. He can play as a striker, but he's never getting in ahead of Gibbs and Adler, to be honest. Rico's been doing pretty well. This guy's just obviously packed with 80s. Can play as a striker as well, and is pretty good at that. So I've probably been holding him back a bit in terms of progression. He's not been playing enough, but so still a bit of room to grow there. Gustavo de Matos is my best CDM at the moment, 90 passing, he's only 25 as well, and progressed nicely. I mean, obviously a bit slower, he's not been like an explosive progressor, but yeah, well, interesting to see how he does up in bronze again. This guy's getting nearly as old as me, but pretty reliable. I mean, 2 key 90s there, quick, can defend, good at passing. I'm just going to kind of hold on to him now. I mean, he only came into the game at 23, but again, I only paid $60 for him, so he's going to be one of those I'm not looking to cash in on. I'm just going to use until he retires. We've got Ingvi Lauritsen's a real cracking player, pretty solid all around, 97 pace, so definitely I would say a legendary in the making. Started at 75 plus 8. We'll have a look at the progressors in a wee minute because I know people love progression in terms of fun. Anybody else really standing out? Nothing much else. We'll have a look at the progression stuff. Before that, just explain what I did. So sold off a lot of the legendary players. So sold off like Hosseini, who, let's have a look at him. Let's torture myself, honestly. I'm just going to torture myself and look at him. So leaderboards, agents, BFC DAO. This guy's just an absolute maniac. We'll come back to the overall story, right? Players. This guy's like top scorer now in gold or something. Just an absolute out and out maniac. So he's in 93 now. So yeah, basically, like I sold this guy when he was like here. So he was still doing pretty well. He was up to like here, and then like as soon as I sold him, it just started going again. Just mad. I mean, look at his progression: 97, 97, 93, 28 now, but he's come out away from being like a 66, which is just incredible. So yeah, I mean, I did well, and 350 I paid to get 800. I don't think he would go for much more than that now because of his age, and obviously that was a key consideration. But yeah, I cashed in, sold like some other guys. One of the guys was like $1,000, and basically I'm now risk free in the platform. So yeah, a lot of people were kind of not making fun of us, so a bit of fun in the discords, but McBride's paying $100 for a guy who's 17 and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, 6 months on, won a good chunk of MFL on the platform, and with the progression, etc., I've got all these guys left, and I'm risk free. So, like, this is my overall agency just now. So, you see, a lot of these guys are all still pretty young. Really got a lot of depth in the agency, right all the way down to the development centre, and just playing pretty much risk free now. So, might be in slight profit actually. So let's have a look at overall sort of progression, and we can go into a few sort of good examples or sort of explanation as to how this whole thing's done. I mean, so guys like this, I mean, this guy I just paid for, right? I mean, obviously I paid Mendez like $195, so his progression was excellent. He's not progressed so much since I bought him. It's a bit older. 195 is probably a lot. I was hoping that he would hit being a legendary. He might still, but I mean, I'm just going to keep this guy now until he retires. I don't think I'm going to resell him. I'll see, but I mean, he's quite handy. He plays left back, plays right back. He's also like a 78 centre back, so he can kind of cover that a wee bit as well. Plus 33 for his career. Maybe he'll have a bit more juice left in him. We'll see. Cloud and I Monte again was from Mendes. So Mendes tends to look for these guys that start exploding, and then obviously buys them with a view to reselling them. So he's made a bit of money out of me. Progression wise, 79. He's going to be 27 years old, but look at how much he's been progressing. So he's going to be going to Dublin, and real fun player to have. Ramishvili is a guy who I didn't actually buy from Mendes, so that's interesting. He's been playing at the boys, bought him from Taleb. Joe Bettman sold this guy for $3. Then Taleb got 100. But I mean, look at his graph, right? 57, going all the way up. He can play cam, he can play centre mid, and he can play left wing, all pretty proficiently. He's improving with his defending and stuff, but mostly he's pretty good as an attacking player. But he's only 24, and I'm hoping like guys like that, Celtic boys, can kind of carry me up the division. So what I mean is like, don't need to just spend hundreds of dollars to improve my team like every season. If he goes up by a couple of clicks, that would be great. Morgenstern again is another guy I bought from Mendes, $129. Guy who was selling quite low, but again he's exploded. So started as 60 at 21, and look at his overall progress. I do like his profile. I mean, obviously 83 passing, 88 dribbling. He's not a good shooter, so he's going to be more of a creative guy. He's physical. But some of these stats like have improved a lot this season as well. So he's a real kind of progressor, +4 or something this season. Mantovani again was a Mendes special. Mendes done well out of me. Paid $8 for this guy, and it's now $100. Look at how much he's improved. 54 up to 73. That doesn't tell the whole story. He's like a 79 cam, so third position cam, but he plays as like a 79 because obviously he's quick, he can shoot, all that type of stuff. So beyond back, again, another guy who's a heavy progressor. Again, I paid $100 for him from May, who paid 15. If you look at his graph, I mean, like he's come from there all the way up to 82. He's gone up to bronze. Best position is left mid, which I don't really play a lot of formations with a left mid. That's the only problem. He can play as a left mid, right mid. He can also play as a left winger, as like a 79 or an 80, so it's not too harsh a penalty. Again, look at his overall stats. He's plus 25 for passing, plus 19 for defending. Incredible. This guy, It's my sort of development centre hope, so he's got another year left. Victor Zapata again, $100, pretty expensive. People were kind of laughing. Oh, he's played like $100 for this guy, and he's like a 60 odds or whatever. But came in at 16, 52. Look at his progress. So his shootings went up like +4 this season, I think, which is a really good sign for a striker. +15 at 20. So yeah, I mean, if he's a certain rare, if he hits rare by the time he's out development centre, I can't see how he's worth less than $100. So wee bit of a gamble there, but that's what it is. Bono we looked at earlier, Giordano Bono, a guy you picked up from Mendes. Looks as if he's flatlined a wee bit, but really like his profile. 79 pace, decent in the passing. 60 is usually a bit of a cut-off point for me. I don't know why, it's just my head. Eduardo Catania is a real interesting one. So this guy came in my welcome pack, right? So I thought this guy's useless, but I was sort of cutting about in the Redemption Cup or whatever, and for the first season in that cup he went to +3. So I thought, alright, obviously he's progressing, but he's went from being a 52 to a 66. He's out on loan just now at Taiping. Good dribbler, passing's improving, decent defender, pretty quick. So yeah, he's a bit of a kind of agency legend. How high can he go? I don't know. Will he end up one of the our teams? I guess after this season he'll probably end up with my ice team again, because obviously I've got a bit more room to afford him there. Anyone else worth mentioning here? I think Borba, whoever we look at Borba. This guy I find quite exciting. He's not popped off much recently, but he's hit that 75 and he's just obviously just hit that. So come in at 16, 64, and he is a +10 by 21. So he's about to hit 22, but is he a guy who could hit that sort of legendary status? That could be quite interesting. Very interesting. Anybody else worth pointing out? But a few guys in development, etc. I mean, this guy's a goalkeeper who I bought at like, it's a 58, and he's now a 68. I think he's going to go out on loan. He's in a pre-contract. So yeah, he's coming out of development centre. Again, where could he end up? Could he end up a rare, right? I mean, he wasn't that expensive. $25. So if he ends up a rare, then he'll be worth treble that, you would imagine. So pretty good. And again, some other guys in development centre as well, pretty good. So I've got a lot of progression in the agency, but I have put a lot of guys into development. Last guy probably to have a look at here, Genovese. This guy's pretty exciting. I mean, came in as obviously at 16, being a sort of a green. Quite quickly moved himself up to being a rare. Now he's up to being an 80, 91 for dribbling. Pretty good at pace, shooting and passing. Nothing incredible, but yeah, 21. He's a +8, 21, so I think it'd be quite good. And yeah, this guy, I've got to highlight this guy, finished, because he's my Scottish hope. So 81 for dribbling, passing, physical, all gone up quite quickly. And he's just started flowing. So my real hope is that that $160 doesn't look ridiculous. Yeah, I think that at the end of this season in bronze he'll be a rare. He'll need to be for $160, and Mendes has done well done, mate. If you're watching this, $100. Guy bought him for 50, progressed quite quickly. Mendes paid double, so it just shows you he's still paid double what the guy's paid like the week before or whatever. But obviously he's progressed really quickly, and then obviously I've given him profit. But I'm hoping he explodes and he does really well. So there we go. That is the overall agency overview. What we left with: 5 teams, risk free, which is incredible after 6 months. A lot of people will say, well, maybe I've missed the boom now or whatever. I don't think prices are largely that different from what they were when I joined. That's a really good thing with the balance of the economy. I think that the game makes a lot of sense, because if you get a guy and he's 20 or 21 and he's a 70 or whatever and he goes up to an 80, people will pay more for him. In fact, people often pay more for guys who are 25 or 26, but they're 85, 86 rated legendaries, just because they're legendaries, and people need those cards to compete the upper levels. So the game makes a lot of sense. Just be careful a wee bit. See a few people like sort of hammering into guys who are 27, 28 and things. Bear in mind, once they hit 29, whatever, I think it's 29, they can give their 3 seasons notice to retire, and then obviously you're just going to have to use them to get MFL back. You're not going to get any real resale at that point. It's going to be MFL percentage you're using your teams. But most players play until they're around about 34-ish. So, obviously, if you get a guy who's 17, in real life terms, I think you've got about 2 years or something of usage, which is pretty good. When you imagine a lot of games, not making any insinuations here, are becoming a bit season long, if that makes sense. So 2 seasons is pretty good. And final thing is, I'm sorry I missed the meet up in Paris and everything at the weekend. So family holiday coming up. I've had COVID recently as well, which is unfortunate. Sometimes you can make a late decision regarding these things, maybe if you've got a bit of space, but didn't really have just too much on. So hopefully meet up with the community and everything again in future. But the intention is to continue to enjoy it. It's really been good to see guys like Wakey Academy, Root Cars coming in, Syfy's come in, who's been kind of from an R sphere. So it looks stiff, like a lot of people are jumping on board. And the real good thing is that when people come in, they're really enjoying it. Not coming in and going, oh, this is too expensive and blah, blah, blah. And, there is an expense. You've got to pay $8 for your club. You've got to build your teams. You've got to get loans in, which is quite competitive. But people are really enjoying it, and that one-off club pack cost. Some of these teams are worth $300-400 now, right? I mean, if I had to sell Celtic Glasgow, whatever, being like a sort of bronze team, etc., I would be looking for $300 or $400. So bear in mind that you're paying your $80, but there is a bit of competition for licenses, and clubs higher up go for more. So next season we're going to have an ice team, a stone team, going to have an iron team with Celtic boys and 2 bronze teams, and I think that's a pretty good sort of format for me to have fun and enjoy it. So that's nearly half an hour. If anyone has any questions on things like progression or how to try and break even in 6 months or whatever, it's probably more than 6. That's wrong, actually. This is July. It's just over 7 months, maybe touching on 8 months now, but I have been break even for about 5 or 6 weeks. So I think 6 months is pretty accurate. If anyone's any questions on that, please do drop them in the comments. If you want to sign up, do have a code to sign up, and you will also get a free player once you've bought your packs, etc. There should be a deal coming for clubs and stuff soon. Usually there is, but bear in mind you're going to go into the Flint division now, so you're going to be below Spark, and Spark's obviously already the lowest in terms of MFL payouts and things as well. Anyways, that's us done. That's the sort of season review. I've been enjoying it a lot. I've mentioned that a few times. Hopefully, if you're playing the game, you are enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, don't be afraid to make a change. Don't be afraid to take a break. Don't be afraid to maybe fire your players into development or just loan them out for a season and just chill a bit, because life's more important than in a situation where you're not enjoying yourself, even when it comes to money and stuff like that as well. So there we go. If you're playing in season 7, we'll end in the way we always end in terms of the channel. Good luck and go fuck.